in thy present light. And be thou my wisdom, be thou my true word. I ever with thee, and thou with me, Lord. Thou great Father, and thy own true Son, thou in me dwelling, and I in thee one. O riches I heed not, nor vain empty praise. Thou mine inheritance now and always. Thou and thou only are first in my heart. High King of heaven, my treasure thou art. O High King of heaven, when my victory is won, may I reach heaven's joys, O bright heaven's song. Out of my own heart, whatever befalls, still be my vision, O ruler of all. Heart of my own heart, whatever befalls, still be my vision, O ruler of all. Hey everybody, welcome and welcome back to Morning Coffee with Debbie and Jesus. I got my coffee. Come on in, grab a cup of coffee. A lot to unpack today. I want to talk to you today about a man named St. Patrick. But first, I want to talk about the poem / song that I just sang. It was written by a man named Dylan Forgill back in the 6th century, and it was in honor of St. Patrick. He was a monk. Also, it wasn't translated into English until in the early 1900s by a woman named Mary Byrne. Then it went to the being put together as a song by a woman named Eleanor Hull in the mid or 1900s. Then it went to the next level of 1919, the actual music, which was Irish folk song in Slane, Slane. That's the music that you hear today. And that song is really difficult to sing, so give me some grace, guys. I had to pull out all my vocal. I went to vocal class and a few lessons back in 1980s. Shout out to my friend Mary. She's listening today. We both went to that class. Great teacher, Mrs. Regila. But I'm a true contralto, and that song's written in the key of high. I mean, any kind of karaoke accompaniment tape, it's really difficult to find something in my my register, my key, the right key. Anyway, very interesting background to that song, and I really love the song. It's so anointed. It really is so anointed, and that's why I sang it. And I did practice for a few months, but I want to get back to St. Patrick. St. Patrick was a mighty man of God, but he didn't start out that way. His name was Maewyn Succoth. and I'm probably not saying that right, but he was British. He was captured when he was 16 years old and taken to Ireland and was a slave there, worked as a herdsman for 6 years. Wasn't a Christian when he went there, but during that time, he cried out to God. And from what I understand, prayer was every day, very, very attached to God, and God attached to God. And then after the end of that time, that 6 years, God gave him direction and guidance to go back to where he came from and to get on a boat to do that. And he did. And he did get back. And I imagine he was continuing his journey with God. And he had a dream, vision / dream again, and where someone from Ireland appeared to him and asked him to come back, called him, come back to Ireland and preach the gospel to us. And he was obedient to God, and he did that. He went there, which was really a step of faith because, they were obviously not nice to him the first time. And he started his journey there for over 30 years. And he planted 300 churches and baptized over 100,000 people. That is amazing for that day and age, that many people were touched by one man, St. Patrick. He was just so obedient to do that. And I don't know what the atmosphere would be in Ireland today as far as Christianity goes without, such a wonderful man, St. Patrick. So I just wanted to honor him today. And we see in the Bible that God did that a lot. He did call people to different areas and to different countries. In the book of Acts, he called Paul, same type of instance where he had a dream vision, that someone was calling him to go to Macedonia. And that was the first instance that the gospel was preached in Europe. So that's huge. That's huge that happened. In Isaiah, God called Isaiah, and he answered the call. In the book in Jonah, we see where God, he wasn't originally obedient, but he came around, didn't he? But he went to Nineveh to warn them, and they repented. If he wouldn't have been obedient, we don't know what would have happened, because we can't assume that, somebody else will answer the call. We don't know that. And one person can change a country. One person can change a neighborhood. One person can change a family. And one person can change other people's family just by being obedient and reaching out to who God calls you to minister to. It's really, really important. You are significant to the kingdom of God, very significant. And even a one-on-one, maybe it's not a country, like I just said, a family. In the book of Acts, Peter was called to go to Cornelius, who was a religious man, but he wasn't a Christian. And he went, he was obedient. God, saw it very important that he reached Cornelius and his family. And he did. Peter did. At first he was a little hesitant too, but he did answer the call. So maybe God today is calling you to go somewhere. Maybe you felt, over the years, or maybe there's somebody in your life that that you're supposed to minister to, but you just haven't done it yet. Or maybe there'll be a dream in your future where God will give you a dream of a person or a country or a neighbor that you should go and minister to. And we need to be obedient to the call of God and to God telling us to do that. because that could change the whole atmosphere of a family, a spiritual atmosphere of a neighborhood and of a country. And Billy Graham, the people that were praying for him, that came to his town, that evangelist that came to minister there, he was obedient, even though it didn't look like anything was going on at the time. Mordecai Ham, I had to remember the name for a minute here, but if he would have went by what he saw, he might have gotten up, packed up, and left, but he didn't. And Billy Graham came into his meeting and got saved and started serving the Lord, and we know where that went. So today, I think that's what I'm just wanting to talk to you about, is just being obedient to whatever God tells you to do. Maybe it's just, fasting and praying for somebody too. We don't know. We just don't know what's going to happen, or what's not going to happen if we're not obedient to what God tells us to do. I also wanted to talk a little bit about my Irish heritage and honoring, my grandpa, Grandpa Kavanaugh. I remember him not real well. I remember him a lot through stories of my siblings, because I was really young when he passed away. But I know he wanted his children and grandchildren to be, brought up in Christianity. And his father and mother were from Ireland. They were from the Dublin area. Also, my grandmother, her great-grandfather was from Foynes Island, near Limerick. And anyway, my maiden name was, I just wanted to share this because I wanted to honor my grandpa and a couple other people. This is Kavanaugh. There's my grandpa up there in the corner. And that's a Kavanaugh heritage thing there, family name history. And interesting, it's kind of a big deal in Ireland, okay? And then I have my grandmother Kavanaugh, who was Fitzsimmons, and that's the one I said was from Foynes Island, her great-grandfather. And I just wanted to share that because they were just very people of wanted their kids and their grandchildren to be Christians and be baptized. I know my grandpa did. That's what the story I had heard. And I want to say, thank you to them for everything they did for us. I also want to put a shout out there to all my siblings and wish them a happy St. Patrick's Day. My sisters, Betty and Kathy, and all my beautiful sister. They're all beautiful, and I have two that are gone, Jeannie and my brother Kenny. But my sister Pam, who put the I in Irish, okay? Any kind of Irish thing or Irish festival or anything, snacks, or she would always send cards, not just cards, but everything you can think of at the dollar stores and everything. And so, Pam, I love you. I just wanted to tell you that. I hope you hear this, because I just wanted to let you know, thank you for all your information that you have given me over the years about family. And my sister Betty did too. And I also want to put a shout out to my cousin Renee, who before Ancestry was, hoofing it. She was walking and on the computer and on the phone back in the 90s, finding out about our Irish history. And thank you so much for doing that, because she gave me a lot of information too. So I just wanted to, thank you for that. And my precious grandmother, who, how do you know you're an Irish kid, growing up in America? Well, instead of singing, playmate, come out and play with me. You're singing Sweet Molly Malone and Irish Lullaby. That's how you know. And your name is Kavanaugh, okay? Anyway, I just wanted to just say happy St. Patrick's Day, and just think about whatever you do. If you go out for an Irish meal or the corned beef and cabbage and that type of thing, remember who St. Patrick really is, and it would be a good teaching lesson for your children too, to know the real meaning of St. Patrick's Day. Because he was so instrumental in, like I said before, the establishing of Christianity in Ireland. And if you're Irish, you definitely want to talk about him. And even if you're not, I think it's a great story, and for the kids to learn and see what a man of God did for our country. But anyway, God bless you all, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.